Friday Night SmackDown is making its way to the Yum Center this Friday night. You can still grab those tickets over at Ticketmaster.com to see all your favorite WWE superstars. And we have a huge one joining us on the show today. It doesn't get much bigger than this. He is the WWE Champion Drew McIntyre. Drew, thanks so much for taking the time today, man.
Oh, thanks for chatting with me.
Absolutely. So, we are full steam ahead. Road to WrestleMania, Elimination Chamber right around the corner. What's sort of the vibe like in the locker room around this time of year?
I mean, in the locker room this time of year, your vibe and mentality should be, how on earth am I going to get myself in one of the biggest matches possible on WrestleMania? I know that's how I've been every single year. Like, how am I going to get myself into the title match? How am I going to get myself into one of the featured matches on WrestleMania? If that's not your mentality, you don't belong on the SmackDown roster. That's my roster. I'll kick you right off if you don't have that mindset. But this year, my mentality is, I'm chill. I'm the WWE champion. I'm the undisputed champion of planet Earth, the number one champion in this world. So I'm cool. I've got my WrestleMania match. It is defending this title. So for everybody else, I couldn't care less. They've got Elimination Chamber this Saturday. They've got Friday in Louisville to say their last piece to fight it out. I'm sure all the guys in the chamber are going to be there on Friday. I'm sure there'll be absolute chaos on the show. Saturday, they're all going to fight it out, and I'm just going to sit back, kick my feet up, and laugh, quite frankly.
Oh, we can't wait to see it all go down in Louisville this Friday. You mentioned, kind of sticking up for SmackDown as your show, and we're talking about marquee WrestleMania matches. Well, one of the marquee matches as of right now, Roman Reigns, the Royal Rumble winner, going to take on CM Punk, and, kind of in their promo leading up to their match, they kind of threw SmackDown and Drew McIntyre in that championship under the bus a little bit. What was your reaction when you heard that?
I mean, I wasn't bothered what they said about me. I don't think they said anything really that bad, because one would try and talk trash and the other would unintentionally defend me by just telling the truth. Punk would run his mouth. Roman would point out Drew's 4 times bigger and he had you crying over your stupid little bracelet on your wrist there. And Roman would make a little joke about, oh, you beat Drew. I beat him 3 years in a row. And Punk would point out, yeah, you and your entire family it took to beat him. So when it came to the stuff they said about me, I wasn't bothered. It was more, trying to make the brand and the title feel lesser than, that was unnecessary, but they wanted to go there. That's their choice. I don't give a damn. So I walked out, pointed out to the world. Was it Punk said, the man makes the title makes the man. This man has been through absolute hell through 25 years. I've been screwed more times than I can count in the past few years to finally get his hands on this title. And the title itself is the title. Is made by people, and I listed a few names that night: the San Martinos, the Hogans, the Bretts, the Shawns, the Triple H's, the Rocks, the Austins, the not Dusty Rhodes, the John Cenas. The people have made this title what it is. I mean, Roman and Punk himself have had these legendary reigns, so they can try and spin it any way they want. This is the number one title, undisputed number one title. And SmackDown, when it comes to our brand, like, look at the show the past few weeks. I'd compare the two shows. Since that interview happened, I'd say SmackDown's blown Raw out the water, and we have a 3-hour show. And if everyone in the roster wasn't fired up and didn't have a fire lit under them after seeing some of those comments, I don't want you on the show if you're not out there, whatever time you've been given. If you get the microphone, if you're in the ring, you're not giving it your all, especially Mania season, especially with those shots being fired. I don't want you on the SmackDown roster. I think the competition's healthy.
Well, Drew, you mentioned, kind of scratching and clawing to get that championship back on your shoulder there. You've had some great moments in your career with that championship, but it all kind of seemed like it was spoiled a little bit at times when you had the COVID WrestleMania, you had WrestleMania 40 where you win the World Heavyweight Championship, and then the Money in the Bank cash in. So what was it like in that 3 Stages of Hell match against Cody Rhodes, one of the top guys right now, with a live crowd in person? How did that moment feel to you?
Unreal. I think it was such a shock for everybody. I think a lot of people just assumed, all right, Cody's going to win the Golden Boy, and he always pulls off the big ones. He was the number one guy at the time. He is that good in the ring, no matter what trash I want to talk. No, he is that good. And to pull off the victory in the end, considering Jacob tried to get me, at the end I overcame Cody and Jacob to win that title, and it was an unbelievable feeling. Felt vindicated, knew all the hard work was worth it, the self-belief was worth it. Suddenly all the people that said, well, Drew's just never going to win the title again, and turned on me in 2025 were like, I knew you could do it, Drew. I was like, shut up. I said, I knew I could do it, and that's all that matters. So it was a great feeling. And my cousin, my uncle, my buddy just happened to come to that show, which was pretty cool too. They said, we'll check you out in Berlin, because a couple of them couldn't make Glasgow the next day when I was going to see most of my family and just catch up. So they were in the crowd, and to see them afterwards, they were just in complete shock, which I think a lot of people were, which was pretty cool. And it just shows, I guess, what kind of stranglehold Cody had on the title, that people's minds were blowing, that he lost it to the guy that's been screwed more times than anybody in history. Makes Bret Hart look like he was never screwed, just how many times I was screwed.
Well, Cody Rhodes is one of the potential challengers for that championship come WrestleMania. Presumably one of these 6 guys will be challenging at WrestleMania. Randy Orton, Cody Rhodes, Javon Evans, Trick Williams, Jey Uso, and LA Knight. Out of those 6 guys, is there anyone that stands out, or is it kind of just full steam ahead for you? No matter who's in front of you, you're going for that WrestleMania moment and retaining that championship on your shoulder?
I couldn't care less. Just anybody but Cody Rhodes. That's the only one I care about, just not being him. So everybody just gang up, mash Cody, and then carry on and just have yourselves a lovely Elimination Chamber, and I'll be sitting kicking my feet up watching all the action go down.
Well, you yourself have a lot of experience, being in this position that these 6 men are going to be in at Elimination Chamber. You actually won the Chamber 2 years ago to move on to WrestleMania to take on Seth Rollins for that world title. As we mentioned, you ended up winning the world title at WrestleMania. We won't mention what happened after that, of course.
No, but we can mention I won Chamber twice. I also won it in 21.
That's right. So yeah, you are a chamber master, to say the least. So I assume you don't want to give your opponents any sort of tips and tricks, but what is it like to compete in that chamber as you're trying to, like you said at the beginning, claim that one of the top WrestleMania matches?
Yeah, it sucks, especially if you're not early and you've got a bunch of the top talent in WWE waiting to come out of the pod and attack you inside of a giant weapon. That cage can be used in 100 different ways if you're creative as a weapon. If someone's coming in fresh to attack you, and they also know this is the last chance they've got to get a championship match for the championship at WrestleMania, so everybody's going hell for leather and giving it their all and then some in that match. If I was, in that match, I'd be particularly worried about, who's in it again? Give me the list.
You got Cody Rhodes, you got Randy Orton, Jey Uso.
Second, I thought Jacob was in there, and I was like, oh no, that's right.
Yeah,
right.
Jacob's not in it. You got a couple, some newcomers.
Situation, because I was, oh man, someone like Jacob, who's so used to being behind bars, the amount of ways he could fashion shivs out of that chamber. But now he's not in there, so maybe he'll give tips to somebody. But yeah, that's right. Old Cody took advantage of poor Sami's in, and Jacob was lying through a table. I don't know how he got there. That's right. For a second, I thought he was in there. Little brain fart.
Well, there's been a lot at the top of the card on SmackDown. There's been a lot of different kind of stories, mixing in with each other. A lot of people, speculating maybe this could lead to a multi-man match at WrestleMania. If you were to be put in that position, Drew, how would you feel? Obviously the odds stacked against you in that scenario.
I would probably go to management and say, what was the point of the Elimination Chamber? The whole idea is whoever the best man is wins and then faces the champion at WrestleMania. So the best man, which is obviously not Cody, is going to win that chamber and go fight me at WrestleMania. And if it was any different than that, I would wonder what the point of Elimination Chamber was.
Right. We would want some answers for sure. So, Drew, man, appreciate you taking the time again. Again, you can see Friday Night SmackDown at the Yum Center this coming Friday. And plus, Elimination Chamber's in Chicago. That's a 5-hour drive from Louisville. So, plenty of opportunities to see all your favorite WWE superstars on the road to WrestleMania coming up. You can check out tickets over at Ticketmaster.com. One more question for you before you go, Drew. We're talking about WrestleMania and WrestleMania season. You've been fortunate enough to have a lot of, really good WrestleMania matches over the years. I think back to, against Bobby Lashley. We talked about the one with Seth Rollins at 40. Last year against Damian Priest. Is there a certain one that sort of sticks out to you that you feel, really what was kind of your best work on the grandest stage of them all?
I mean, the greatest moment was certainly the match with Seth. One of my best opponents, one of my biggest professional rivals. And we've been at it like a OK Corral gunfight. It was just, rather than what we usually would do and put on an excellent technical wrestling masterpiece, it was just finish move till somebody couldn't get up. Had a nice moment with Seth, a nice moment with the crowd, gave the title to my wife. So right up to that moment, if you freeze frame, perfect. Don't worry. Next.
Yeah, absolutely. We were actually there in person for WrestleMania 40. And I was pulling for you hard in that match, and I just couldn't believe the aftermath. There's a video of me reacting. I'm just sitting there like, no way, they took away the moment from Drew. But so happy that
one was like, man, I'm devastated, and two, man, I feel bad for anyone that's following that.
Right. Yeah.
I feel bad for me and feel bad for whoever's on after. That was the first match.
Yeah, it was a fantastic match. Well, Drew, man, thanks again for taking the time. Good luck on the road to WrestleMania, and we'll see you in Louisville here soon, man.
See you in Louisville. It's basically a home show for me because I'm in Nashville, so I drive there. So I'm basically Louisville's own Undisputed Champion Drew McIntyre. And I used to live there for OVW when I moved to
yes, sir. OVW, shout out. All right, man. We'll talk to you soon. Thanks.
Cheers.